Welcome back to Project GR86. In today's video, we will be installing a GR intake, which is very hard to find and very hard to get. I ordered this intake right after I bought this car in January. It just now came in, and I will be installing it and showing you the steps for installation and the end results. The reason for my purchasing this intake is because from what I read on the GR86 forums, this is the best intake. There's a thread on there where a guy took 4 or 5 different style of intakes to the dyno the same day and he changed them out, and this intake gave the best end results. Remove the negative cable on the battery here because you will need to reset your ECU, and you would need to unplug it for 10 minutes or more so you can get the ECU to reset and start learning again after the install. So I'm just going to do it first because it will make it faster and I won't have to wait around. In order to not make a ground, I'm just going to cover this up here. Remove it a little bit over here to the side here, just in case, so it doesn't have a chance of touching anything. Don't think it'll get a ground through the rag. Can't think of any other way of doing this because it wants to touch the body. We're going to want to remove the box here, the mass airflow, and this whole tube here. The mass airflow sensor has an arrow going back towards the motor. We'll note that when we reinstall it. Removing the mass airflow sensor, it has 2 screws here, a pull tab here, and then this little guy right here was in this hole over here. We just squeeze down on these one at a time, one on one side, pull it out, the other pulls out back this way. Not sure if you're going to reuse these or not. We'll have to find out here in a little bit. Pulls out like so. For the next step for this PCV tube, which that's what I think this is, we're going to remove it by pressing it with a, going to use needle nose pliers with the angle bend to them. So I'm not sure if this will be reused or not. I'm going to set this over to the side in my little screw tub. I'm going to remove this one here with a flathead screwdriver. This one here looks like it's a JIS, a Phillips or number 10, to get this tube out of here now. Very easy to remove. Looks like it's got this doodad here for noise, to suppress noise. I'm going to take the back side of the air box off with the air filter next. Just slips up. I believe this is a 10 millimeter here that will need to be removed to remove the air box. Looks like another 10 millimeter here. Another 10 millimeter here. And then we'll see where we're at. Very simple, it's already out. So all it consists of is a noise suppressor box and your filter here. This is your part number if you're interested in trying to get one of these. But again, they are very hard to come by, as I had to wait 3 or 4 months to get this. Other guys I've seen and chatted with have said they've been waiting since 2024 Thanksgiving when they ordered these. In the box, you get a new air tube. It looks like with new hose clamps. This is a part number here if you wanted to try to order this stuff individually. You get the large air filter. This would be the part number here if you wanted to try to order it individually. It appears to be a K&N filter. You get your back part. This is the back. Again, this is the part number. Here is the other side. Again, it's got that cotton crappy style mask in it. I'm going to remove that now. It's for emission control, I believe. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try just getting my flathead screwdriver in here and break it off like you're hearing it do. Yeah, it looks like it's got these little like plastic rivets that hold it in. Very easy, as you can see, to remove. And again, it's very thick and dense. Well, it's very dense for the thickness it is, I should say. So now you can see it left these little standoffs here. I'm going to cut those down with a pair of side cuts. Some of them broke off all the way on their own. Ones that didn't, you just snip them off here. It's very easy, as it's soft plastic. In the front side box here is where their hardware is. Looks like you get your plastic clippers here to clip the filter door back on, and some kind of rubber grommet here. Just in case you wanted to see here, this is where the factory snorkel goes out. On your factory side where the filter set in, these are what I was telling you you'll be reusing, it appears. It appears the easiest way to get these out is there's a little ring inside of here, a little silver ring there. The easiest way is to push from one side here with your flathead screwdriver to get the ring out, because if you don't get this little ring out, the little rubber will not slide off properly. Once you have them slidden out, you will have this rubber grommet here, 2 of these, and 2 of these little metal barrels here. So then you're going to take this guy right here, and there's one here, again, one here, and one up here. You'll slide your little grommet in. Like so. You will then take your little metal barrel, push it back through, like so. Okay, so this is where it winds up going, right here. You just muscle the pointy end, the part that went to a point, in the hole here, because in your air intake there'll be a little finger that's just going to set in there. This is the little finger I was telling you about on the back side of your air intake. And it kind of makes it a little tighter. Then you're going to reuse your two. If I can get them out of my pocket. You're going to reuse your two factory bolts that you removed earlier from the stock intake. One goes up here, and one goes down in here. We're going to take and set the filter into the top here. These little fingers go in the bottom. It's kind of common sense. The filter has a lip here that goes around. Slide it on there. You can feel that all, 5 of these fingers have went through. Of course, it's not tight yet. After you've done that, you'll need to take your hardware fingers here. So you'll take this end right here with the little slots and the little curves on it. There's a little rail there that you have to slip it through like that. These little guys do not go on very easy. You push them up in there where I showed you. You have to get some leverage with something like a screwdriver. You look here on the throttle body, you'll see a little indentation here. There's an area on the tube that lines up with. So as you can see here, it's trial and error. I cannot get the tube to go in, it's too big. So I'm going to take the box back out, put the tube on, slip it in, and then put my two 10mm bolts on. So as you can hopefully see here, there's a raised ridge here and a ridge here. You kind of have to line up here. It gives you a little bit of some groove here that you could move it back and forth on, but that has to line up just like the back side here does. I do recommend putting this all together outside of the car. Now I'm going to take my 8mm on these clamps here and run them down. Again, just snug them down. I'm kind of pushing it back up again here, back up the back side here. Up again this, comment below if you know where I can get some of these that would be black, maybe a shiny, nice black. Then we're going to put our mass airflow sensor back in using the OEM little Phillips screws here. Again, it has an arrow on it. That will need to go towards the motor. These will just go so tight because they're going into plastic, making their own threads, it appears. You can kind of feel when it's down and tight. You can feel it from underneath when they come together, the two plastics. You see this little clipper here? There's a little hole right here. We're going to clip that back down onto there. Plug it back into here. Going to take our tube here. Shove it on here. Doesn't look like it goes down all the way. Looks like it stays up a little bit, as there's a channel there stopping it from what I seen when I put the tube on. So that's all the way. Doesn't go down any further than that. It sets up just a hair here. Again, that's on as far as I can get it. I'm going to pull this up just a hair here to where it lines up with the top of the red just about, so that it grabs onto it. You can see I'm pulling a little bit with a little bit of force here, and it's staying on. So now everything's on here except for my two bolts that I almost forgot to hold the air box in. And again, you need the 10 millimeter, not the 8 that I forgot I had on the end there. I think it looks really badass. You're going to want to remember there's a little peeler here. You get your gratification here. Very nice. And like I was telling you, there's a little finger down in there. Let's see, where is it at? You see that little finger right there? It goes in with that little rubber grommet and the little nipple. There's your one bolt. There's your second bolt. You tighten down to tighten it on. Just make sure you've got this all put together. Don't do it like I did. Put the whole box together with the tube and all on it outside of the car, and it goes in very easily. Make sure you've lined this up here like I was stating earlier. Lines up there. The little rubber has a little U into it for the metal in the throttle body. And over here it's got a little groove in it. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can here in the red silicone boot. It's got a little groove that goes around it, and it has a big U onto there. Just tighten it down. Of course, you won't want to forget to tighten back down your battery cable. I've had the Toyota GR accessory, the intake, installed for about a week now, and my feelings from this install is it's very much worth the money. If you're looking for crazy induction noise, you will not get it. Maybe it's slightly louder than the stock, but I think it's very close to the sound of the stock. The reason why I say it's worth the money is the throttle tip-in. I feel like there's a lot more lower down torque, or it hits you a little quicker. Feels like it accelerates a little faster off the line and in the mid-range. That's why I say it's worth the money. And again, according to the forums, there was one gentleman that went and took 4 or 5 different intakes to the dyno, and he claims this all in the same day, I should say, and he claims that this is the only one that really gave results. Maybe the Toyota Motor Company put more time behind engineering this instead of just making a tube, slapping a cone filter on. Not sure why it gets better results than the others. At the looks of it is very good looking when you pop the hood. It's very good looking when you pop the hood. All in all, I think it is worth the money, and it was worth the 3 to 4 month wait I had to wait. I would recommend getting this intake if you're in the market for one. Just be aware you may have to wait. Either Toyota is not producing enough of these, or they're highly sought after. And I could see why they're highly sought after. I really do think the added torque hit that it gives you, or whatever it's adding to make the extra throttle tip-in a little more responsive, the extra air or whatever it is. Now, in a coming video, I will be installing a snorkel kit, which it looks like that adds the sound to the intake, because I've watched other videos of people installing snorkel kits to the stock factory intake, which again lets less air through. Right in there is where you can feel it, like the 3500, 2500, 35 or up is where you can start hearing it. Or not hearing it, I mean start feeling the extra oomph. That right in here, 3 grand and forth, if I give it just a little bit, feels like it's got more. But anyways, back to what I was saying, is I will be installing a snorkel kit. The videos I've watched with the factory intake and the snorkel kit, that adds the sound. So I wonder what it'll be like with this intake and a snorkel kit added. I haven't seen any other videos on YouTube or on the internet with the genuine GR intake and a snorkel kit. So we'll see what that adds here in the weeks coming, in the video coming in the future weeks. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, treat others how you would want to be treated. Have a good week.